Which current NFL players are a lock for the Hall of Fame?
Okay. So Colin did this on TV yesterday. I'm going to do a slightly different version. And we will go team by team and list everyone. And I should have given the producers a heads up on this. If someone with our wonderful Blue Duck production staff in Los Angeles can just start a document or jot something down, and every player that I list put in whichever category. So the categories that I have are locks, likely, good start, and not quite. I think those are the categories that I have. And, throw possible on there as well. And we'll see what we come up with at the end of it. I'm just going to go team by team the way they're listed in the standings, and we'll go through it. The Dallas Cowboys have as many possibles, or not even necessarily possibles, as we're going to list as many names with the Cowboys as any team, and it's only 3 names. So Tyron Smith is a likely Hall of Famer. He is not a lock Hall of Famer, not yet, but Tyron Smith, he's got 8 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros. He was on an All-Decade team. Even that, at an offensive line, as an offensive lineman, I can't call him a lock, but he is a likely Hall of Famer. As is his offensive line mate, Zach Martin. Zach Martin, who's been the best guard in the league for quite some time, he has 8 Pro Bowls, 8 All-Pros, including 6 first-team All-Pros. Why is he not a lock for the Hall of Fame? And he's damn close. The answer to that is it is incredibly difficult to get in as a guard. Incredibly difficult. He is close to a lock. He is not quite a lock, but he is a very likely Hall of Famer. Tyron Smith is a likely Hall of Famer. Micah Parsons is in the good start category. It's a great start, but I'm not ready at all to... He's got, again, another half-decade plus of this level of production. The Giants have no one that is in the discussion. The Eagles have one person, Jason Kelce, and I think he is a lock. Jason Kelce is, by some people, consider him the best center ever. He's a 5-time first-team All-Pro, and whether it should matter or it shouldn't, because his resume probably is not quite as impressive as Zach Martin's, but you got to keep in mind when it comes to first-team All-Pros, there's only one center, there's 2 guard positions available, and the fact that he's won 2 Super Bowls, won 1 Super Bowl, played in another Super Bowl, is going to help him greatly. He's a lock Hall of Famer. No one else on the Eagles is even really in the discussion. And you can say you're not... Fletcher Cox, Matt mentioned just to me in my ear, and I was going to go through it. And Matt, please keep doing that if you think there's someone I'm way overlooking. Fletcher Cox, to me, is a great example of how hard it is to make the Hall of Fame. Fletcher Cox is a very good player. He is not a Hall of Fame player. Fletcher Cox is not better than Richard Seymour was, and Richard Seymour might never get in. Fletcher Cox is not better than Bryant Young was, and Bryant Young might never get in. Fletcher Cox is very, very good. He's not a Hall of Famer. Washington obviously has no one, and that takes care of the NFC East. The Bears have no one. The Lions have no one. The Packers becomes an interesting discussion with one guy, David Bakhtiari. David Bakhtiari, 3-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 2-time first-team All-Pro. To me, David Bakhtiari just misses. He's behind Tyron Smith as far as tackles from his era. He's obviously behind a guy we're going to get to in a bit in tackles from his era. I think David Bakhtiari just misses, so that means the Packers have no one. The Vikings, Justin Jefferson, good start category. Way too early, but the start couldn't possibly be stronger. The guy averages basically 100 yards a game for his career. He's been spectacular. He just got voted number 2 on the NFL's top 100 list, which is remarkable. I think it's the highest a receiver's ever been on that list. He gets the good start category. The Falcons, the only person they have, and I think people maybe forget that he plays for this team. I forgot he played for this team because he hadn't played for him yet, is Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell is in the just misses category. 99 sacks, only 3 All-Pros. Now, he was an All-Decade member, which helps him, but I think Calais Campbell just misses. The Saints have one person. That's Cam Jordan, and he is going to be, I think he's going to be a controversial one, but the numbers are jarring for Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, who just signed an extension, has 115 and a half career sacks. So when you look at the all-time leaders for sacks, and I understand it's a stat that's only been kept, over the last 40 years, but if we go to it and the official leaders on all-time sacks, he's 23rd. If he gets another 10 sacks in his career, he moves into the top 20. He is 8 sacks behind Robert Mathis and 8 sacks behind Von Miller. He's 10 sacks behind Dwight Freeney. And guys ahead of him on the official leaderboard. Now, Football Reference did a cool thing where they went back and counted the unofficial sacks. But Cam Jordan, if we just go by the official leaderboard, Cam Jordan has more than J.J. Watt, who just retired and is an absolute no-doubt lock Hall of Famer. It's one more, but it's more. Guys with more sacks than Cam Jordan, I'll go through them quickly and tell you if they're not in the Hall of Fame. Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Kevin Green, Julius Peppers, not in, but will be. He hadn't been retired long enough. Chris Dolman, Michael Strahan, Jason Taylor, Terrell Suggs. Suggs not in, but will be. DeMarcus Ware, Richard Dent, John Randall, Jared Allen at 136. He's a finalist, but hasn't gotten in yet. John Abraham not in, and doesn't look like he's going to get in. Leslie O'Neal, Lawrence Taylor, Ricky Jackson, Derek Thomas, Freeney, who's waiting, Von Miller, Robert Mathis, Simeon Rice, Clyde Simmons, Cam Jordan. None of those guys are in. So my point is, he gets 10 more sacks. He's almost assuredly getting in. He just signed an extension. He is not a lock, but he is a likely Hall of Famer. The Bucks have one guy. Oh, so the producers remind me Jimmy Graham is now on the Saints again. Jimmy Graham, in my opinion, has no chance of being a Hall of Famer. He's a 2-time All-Pro. He has gaudy touchdown numbers, but not much else. Jimmy Graham, to me, I didn't even consider him. And it's not, it's partially because I forgot that he had re-signed with the Saints. He's not a Hall of Famer. The Bucks, people are going to bring up, there's only one person, they're going to bring up Mike Evans. Mike Evans, to me, is once again a very, very good player who has never, not a day was there ever a discussion, is he the best receiver in the league? There's never been a discussion, is he the second best receiver in the league? He has one really impressive stat, which is he has started his career with 9 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, or is it 10 consecutive? It is, how many seasons has he played? He's done it every single year. It's 9 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. I do not think he gets in the Hall of Fame. To me, he is, if Andre Johnson and Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt, we don't know if they're getting in. There is no argument that Mike Evans gets in. So Mike Evans to me is not quite. The Rams obviously have one guy. It's Aaron Donald. He's a 100% lock. There is not even, it's not even worth discussing. Stafford, it's also not worth discussing. He's not even close. The Cardinals have no one. The 49ers have one lock in Trent Williams. Been the best left tackle in the league for a decade. He is, and that is going to hurt Bakhtiari, because how many left tackles from one era are going to make it? Trent Williams is going to be in. Tyron Smith is en route. So I think that hurts Bakhtiari. Nicky Bosa is in the good start category. Need a lot more sample, but he's in the good start category. And George Kittle is the very, very good, not a Hall of Famer. And then the Seattle Seahawks have one guy, Bobby Wagner, who to me is an absolute lock. So the entirety of the NFC, what we have is the following. And I said we were going to spend a lot of time on this. I think it's fun exercise. Jason Kelce, Aaron Donald, Trent Williams. In the entirety of the NFC, there are 3 lock Hall of Famers active right now. In the entirety of... Say that again, Matt. Sorry. And Bobby Wagner. Pardon me. I forgot to. Yes, you're right. So there's 4. Thank you. I had just said Bobby Wagner. I didn't put lock next to his name on my little document that I'm making. Thank you for that. So there's 4. Bobby Wagner, Trent Williams, Aaron Donald, and Jason Kelce. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.